Hello, check two.
Check one, two, check one.
Yeah, I had to do it.
What's up, Devin? All the way from Colorado, joining us on Cinema Gulp today.
Yo, brother, it's good to be back, man. Coming to you straight from Colorado Springs.
How's
Awesome
the weather?
It's hot. It's actually really hot. Hotter than I expected Colorado to be, but it's a beautiful place. Can't beat it. Don't miss California at all, except for you.
Well, California misses you, my friend. We wanted to have you back on because you and me are the OG hosts of Binge Drinking that we started a couple years ago, and we started it with season 1 of Cobra Kai, which was at the time was a YouTube premium show, so not a lot of people got to see it. But now we thought was the perfect time to do season 2 because it has just dropped on Netflix. Both season 1 and season 2 become a little bit more easily accessible to people to watch. And Netflix is gearing up for season 3 in sometime in mid 2021. So this is a good time for us to talk about season 2 because you and I enjoy season 1 so much.
Absolutely. I was really happy to do this. I missed being on the show, of course, but also I got to rewatch season 2 again because it actually had been a while. It feels like it's been out for like 2 years, but awesome. Yeah, I got to rewatch. Had a wonderful time doing it and looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We normally would have thought we missed the boat on it, but because so many people are just now seeing it, I actually just now saw it over the last weekend because it's on Netflix now and everyone has Netflix. So it's almost like it's brand new to a lot of people, and season 3 is just around the corner. I think they have half of it wrapped already. So
I subscribed to YouTube Red
just for this
right away, just for this.
Yeah, that's a lot of people did. A lot of people did. Yeah, you and I, we already did a show on season 1. We loved it. It had this magic to it. I mean, the way it reinvented, kind of like how Creed reinvented Rocky. New characters, a whole new generation, a different take on it from a different perspective. It filled in gray areas, whereas the Karate Kid was a very black and white, bad guy, good guy. And this show says, no, there's gray. It was all full of gray areas. And that's what this show is pretty much about. And season 2 kind of continues that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and the first, the movie, it was all about Daniel. No one gave a shit about Johnny or any of the other character. It was all just about Daniel. And that was, to me, it was boring as shit. I love the movie. It was boring as shit. Now we get to explore other, areas of this universe, and it's awesome. Yeah,
no, and actually, the more interesting areas that you didn't even know you wanted to see. You know, I mean, season 2. We can just get into season 2 at this point. What did you think? I loved it. I mean, I didn't know if they could top the first season. And I don't know if they topped it because the original kind of wow factor's gone. But is it though? Because they keep reintroducing people again and again and again and wowing you all over again.
Yeah. No, I actually didn't have real high hopes for season 2. I thought, like you thought, no, how are they going to top season 1? It was so good, but I swear, dude, the writers for this show are awesome. They've been doing a phenomenal job bringing everything together, adding new elements, and it just keeps getting better and better. I think I dare to say season 2 I liked better, actually.
I think I did too, because I just rewatched season 1 a couple days ago after season 2, and I love them both, but I think season 2 topped it a little bit. I mean, these guys that wrote it are fucking super fans, dude. Like, oh yeah, they bring back the kitchen sink from that movie.
Right, it's obvious that they're super fans. I mean, it seems like every time they can find a way to inject something from the original movies, they do it. Whether it's Johnny saying, "Give me 50 push-ups on your knuckles," or something just mundane like that. But every chance they get, they throw it in, and I fucking love it.
Then you need to get your ass over to Cobra Kai.
Just make sure the Cobra Kai snake comes in at the end, all right? I want it to really pop. Make it chrome. Throw Thunderstruck under it.
Even though now the story takes a little more precedent over, like, Johnny's sort of... Remember, when we did season 1, I said Johnny seems like a caveman who just woke up from 1984 and he doesn't know what the internet is. They still do a little bit of that in this one, but now it's more, like, on the story. I love it when he's like, add one of those hash brown things to your
yeah.
Like, that was great. That reminded me. I'm like, oh yeah, Johnny's kind of a moron.
Totally. Well, and I love, like, when they show him first connecting to the internet And first he doesn't know how to do it, but then when he finally gets on, he starts looking up hot chicks, and he's looking up Iron Eagle 2 and Bloodsport and all these old ass 80s movies.
Yeah, he makes the Iron Eagle reference in this season. Let's talk about Billy Zabka, the Daniel Day-Lewis of 80s teen movie bullies. And let's talk about the evolution of Johnny Lawrence, like while we're going there. And while we're going there, I think I'm going to have a Johnny's favorite.
Banquet. Nice.
I don't have a brown bag like
I couldn't do it, brother. I'm going with some whatever the fuck this is.
You're not hardcore enough, man. If you were here doing it at the studio, we would have these laid out all over the place like we had PBRs last time.
Oh, I'm sure. We probably would have drank all of them, too.
I'm going for it. Cheers.
Who wants a warm one?
Yeah.
Brew time.
Oh, fuck. That is just so skunky. You know what makes me so happy about this show? The resurgence of Billy Zabka. Like, that dude is all over the place right now. He's on Men's Fitness because they're talking about how good he looks for his age, and he's talking about his workout regimen. He's all over, like, the internet interviews. He was on, like, Variety cover. Like, he's fucking – I love it that my favorite 80s bully is, like, now becoming a star again in his 50s.
As he should be. He should be everywhere. That guy's he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, he should have never disappeared. He's really natural, you know?
Right.
He's a good-looking guy. I think he got typecasted into that bully role, dude. And
Totally.
that
Oh, yeah. Just one of the guys.
Yeah. Just
absolutely.
one of the guys. Fucking Back to School. All that shit. Yeah. He got screwed.
I love the way they've written him. I love getting his side of the story. There's more and more that keeps coming out, too, as we go along. Just kind of seeing his whole character arc throughout, the season 1 and season 2. It's been awesome to watch.
It's funny because, you're finding more and more about him and how much he was involved in this with the writers. He's an executive producer. He has a lot of input on Johnny's character. And I think that shows that he's kind of a brilliant guy because he's reinventing this guy that was just a black and white, stereotypical bad guy from an early 80s movie. And he's going, hey, I wonder what would happen if you deconstructed that 35 years later. And you said, actually, this was all a mistake. He's not a bad guy. Like, this happened and this happened. And when we first meet him in season 1 and he's taking a crap in that lady's bathroom and he hung her TV on the wrong wall, you're just like, you're already sucked in because you're like, wait a minute. I've never seen this take. We've never been so fortunate to see somebody from the 80s come back and you see this whole other perspective. Season 2 builds him up so that he's rarely the bad guy in season 2. He's kind of torn in with the Kree stuff. And I love they give him the love interest this year, which, spoilers from this point on, doesn't go so well. But, man, I don't remember Miguel's mom giving me such a chubbers. Like,
really? I always thought she was an attractive woman. So, but they put her in a nice, looking dress this time, and they did her up, made her look a lot better. But yeah, she's a pretty woman.
His problems with Daniel, like his problems with his son, like his mentorship to Miguel, which he accidentally created, where Miguel looks at him like a fucking dad, and he's like, oh God, like that's the last thing I want. But that's just the way it is. That's the way Miguel is always going to think of him, Yeah,
well, and that's the way that Johnny's always going to think of Miguel too, though. He's invested so much in this kid and seen him, grow so much. He's fully invested. And it's perfect because he doesn't have that with his own son,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they don't have a good relationship at all. But yeah, Johnny and Miguel, their whole relationship was accidental because Johnny just wanted – remember – from watching season 1, he's just wanted his money. He's like, give me that check every month, and you're my first student. Just make sure you pay me. And like now, like they're just, it's like Miyagi and Daniel pretty much, He's teaching him everything he knows and he loves him. And,
his old ways, drinking the banquet, nasty ass beer. I love how they show him in his kitchen. He's flying front slices of bologna like Bad Santa.
He does that in this one too. Yeah, the bologna. Yeah.
I kind of think that maybe the writers are Bad Santa fans. I'd have to say because
they are the writers of Harold and Kumar, so to me it makes perfect sense. Like they're in the Hollywood film comedy industry. I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to Daniel real quick. I have more to say about Daniel this season. Last season, I think when we did it, we're just like, he's kind of a douche and he's a little weird, and he's more prominent this year. But I feel like they're not concentrating as hard on his character as they are on Johnny's because after 2 seasons, I don't really know Well, and maybe they're doing this on purpose. He's not the good guy. He's not. Like,
No.
he leads a better life, and he doesn't cause as much damage per se, at least at the beginning. But him blowing up on Johnny and knocking Johnny's door in to get his daughter, like, I know I don't have a daughter, but that seemed excessive as fuck to me. Like, he just blew up, and you're like, wow, I want Johnny to win this fight. You know?
Yeah, well, definitely. Well, shit, it was Johnny going and kicking down Daniel's door because he's got Robbie there.
No, Johnny was taking care of his daughter, and he comes in and pulls that. Yeah, that scene pissed me off. That was the most pissed off I was all season, because I'm like, this should not be happening. They've already buried the hatchet. They're buddies, and Daniel just lost his mind, and I'm like, wow, maybe
this is why I fucking hate Daniel LaRusso. This guy's a really fucking bitch, man. I hate him.
They need to get a handle on him in season 3 a little bit better, I think. Like, he's just kind of hard for me to pin down. I'm still trying to figure it out. What
really pisses me off is in the original Karate Kid movie, you had, here comes Daniel, new guy in town. He comes and fucks everything up for Johnny. Totally. He just wants to beat Johnny. Here they are in their adult life, like 30 years later, 20 years later, whatever it is, and he's doing it all over again. Johnny's just trying to better himself, make a better life. He's opening his own business. He's teaching kids. He's doing it the right way. And here comes Daniel. Oh, no, I can't let him do that. I've got to go fuck that up and create Miyagi-Do and be his enemy. I hate Daniel. I fucking hate him.
Well, you know what it is? They keep, and that's why the writing is so smart, is they keep creating instances where Daniel doesn't want to get in Johnny's way. Johnny doesn't want to get in Daniel's way. But these things keep accidentally pitting them against each other. A lot in season 1 and a lot in this season. But I agree with you. And my only knock on season 2 that I miss about from season 1 is how much they referenced the first movie. In this one, they don't do it as much, except, and we got to get into this one, there's 2 real pivotal episodes on this season. One of them is just, I'll let you really get into it, but when we meet the boys, all old as fuck now, the Cobra Kai boys.
Episode 6, man.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. No, I hadn't read anything. I didn't know that was happening. And when that happened, and I had to go like this and go, is that, either way, they were all really great. And that was my favorite episode of the season.
That one struck a chord with me. Totally. That one hit home for several reasons, because of the pure nostalgia it was filled with. Also for the fact that we even got Rob Garrison to come back.
Right.
And knowing, that he wasn't
sick, right?
He wasn't really acting. He was really dying. He died shortly after that. But he was dying in real life.
So much more heartbreaking.
Man. It was I was thinking about that scene where they're out camping, they're on their Harleys and shit, and they're just like they were on their dirt bikes.
And they even play the song.
The same song. Hell yeah. But then, they go out, they get in that bar fight, and then they're out camping somewhere. Johnny's sitting on that log next to Rob Garrison, next to Tommy, and they're having this discussion.
Real heart to heart.
Man, it just hit me, man. And then Johnny wakes up in the morning, and Rob's gone. He's passed away.
It was a gut punch, man, and that was a really well-acted episode, well-directed episode, well-written episode, and a total shock to me that those guys were there. And the way they did it, where they put the comedy in there, it was like Wild Hogs for 1 second, where they're like the old guys and they go get in the bar fight and kick the shit out of these young guys. But what I love is that all of them, you get this from just a few lines of dialogue and some facial expressions, that when they find out he reopened Cobra Kai, they're devastated. And you could tell after that scene that opens up Karate Kid 2, where you see the aftermath of the championship, where he's like beating up Johnny and he punches one of the guys. They walk away from him at that episode and they never go back to Cobra Kai again. At least that's what it makes it seem.
Right.
Yeah, and they all became good men.
Right.
But it was really cool to get that closure on how those guys ended up,
Right. Now, let me ask you a question. So, aside from Johnny Lawrence, did you have a favorite Cobra Kai member from the original movie?
The guy that looked like fucking Kiefer Sutherland.
Dutch?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Blonde dude. That's
the blonde guy. The guy who's like lifting up his pants. He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight.
Make a move.
Yeah, that one. Come on. Yeah, that guy. Because he was just no nonsense. He wasn't laughing with the rest of the guys.
Punch or no punch. you're dead meat.
That's him.
Yeah, he was a badass. I always liked Bobby. I thought that guy was like, he seemed like the most badass martial arts wise out of all of them. He seemed like he could kick the most ass, even more so than Johnny. I always thought.
Well, all of them could have kicked Daniel's ass with a blindfold on for the most part, but the screenplay said otherwise.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Daniel's biceps look like my pinky. There's no tone, no definition. There never has been.
I hate Robbie Keane. He's the worst. I
fucking hate that kid. I want to beat him up. If I saw him now, I'd want to beat him up. He'd beat up a kid. I hate him.
Now, if there is a fatal flaw in the writing, it's if that they don't really know how much people hate him, and they actually think they're writing him as a sympathetic hero, unless they know exactly what they're doing and they're making us feel exactly how they want us to feel. If that's the case, they're geniuses. But if we're supposed to like him as the good guy, they're fucking that up. But I think they're smarter than that, because they do have him do stupid shit. And at the end of season 2, he is the outlier. He is the last person that anybody wants to talk to.
Yeah, right.
That was some hardcore shit, dude.
Yeah. He's kind of like Daniel almost. You know, he comes in and new kid and he steals the girl. And, you know, there's a parallel there. I hate that kid, man.
Remember when we did our season 1, we called him the kid from Airborne. What was his fucking name? Why do they keep giving him that 1994 haircut? Like,
yeah, fucking Mitchell Guzin.
I'll bet you next year he comes back with a completely different hairdo because he's on the run from the law or some shit like that.
I hope so, because he looks like a penis head with that haircut he's got.
Yeah, I just hate him, and that's fine if like that's the intention from the writers. But dude, he's just the worst, man.
Yeah, Miguel goes back, and you know, after the Miyagi dojo was ransacked and trashed, Robbie, you know, found out that Hawk took the, you know, Miyagi's medal, his Medal of Honor or Valor, whatever it was. He takes it back.
Yeah,
who answers the door at Sam's house? But that
punks out.
Robbie
Totally punks out on that.
Yeah, and he had the coolness to stand there in front of Robbie, this dude who's porking his chick, and give this back. I mean, he manned up. You know, he was doing the right thing. What does Robbie do? He goes and lies, sticks it in his pocket and lies about it.
Miguel is the best written of the new characters. He is an amazing character. I love Miguel. Like, Miguel is a mixture. He's like if you transform him back to the original movie, or they made it a remake now, he goes back and forth between teetering on being like Daniel and being like Johnny so much. In every episode, he goes back like 2 or 3 times because he's got all these new abilities, but he's naturally kind of a dork. He is such a well-written character. I love Miguel.
Yeah.
And I love the guy that plays him too. He's great.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name. He's like a 19-year-old kid. He just crushes that part because he's so like sympathetic and sweet in moments, and then he gets really abrasive and he gets kind of menacing when he gets angry and stuff.
Yeah, no, he's got the fury in him. He can unleash the beast when he wants to. Too is because you know Johnny was teaching him, but then Kreese comes in and he's bringing back the whole, you know, strike first, strike hard, no mercy stuff. So all those kids start adapting that. And Johnny comes back in and says no, tells Kreese to fuck off. So I can see a little bit that's partly why.
The person who, like, if you watch the very first episode of season 1, and then you watch the last episode of season 2, is unrecognizable, and that's Hawk. Like, Hawk is crazy. Like, they had some balls for like turning that like Dungeons and Dragons nerd into this real evil, sinister bully, and they even kind of bulked him up a little bit, you know, like.
Yeah.
What do you think about that Hawk character and like his relationship with Dimitri?
It's kind of like Patrick Dempsey in Can't Buy Me Love. You know, he becomes the cool guy. Everyone wants to hang out with him, and he's shunning all of his old friends that are dorks.
You shit on my house. But he's not like angry and scary though.
But with a bit of anger though. He's like really embracing the no mercy mantra of Cobra Kai. That guy doesn't have no mercy. He just wants to beat the shit out of everyone. I think it kind of makes me not like him.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to like him. I think he's going to end up being the biggest tragedy of Johnny Lawrence's, like, because Johnny Lawrence initially said, hey, flip the script. Remember that? You're the nerd. Flip the script on everybody. And then he showed up and he had the mohawk and he tried to cover up his cleft What is that? What it is? Is that a
cleft palate? Yeah.
Is that what he has, or is it just a scar? I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the path that Hawk took, which has become dangerous and almost like megalomaniacal, and like he could end up becoming someone that kills somebody. You never know. I mean, they're probably not going to go that way because the show's a little bit more lighthearted than that. But
yeah. Well, they had Dimitri bring him back down to reality at that party.
Yeah, almost until he dropped the Coors Banquet on his head.
Dimitri pretty much handled him though in the hallway.
Yeah, which I felt was lame, but
bit of a stretch.
That's a very Daniel LaRusso moment where like he still doesn't know shit. He's the biggest weakling, and this dude's fucking Hawk's just been chopping fools up one by one, and then he just gets schooled by Dimitri. But it made sense though, because I think that's gonna maybe knock Hawk back down to reality. I don't know.
You know what'd be funny is if in season 3 they brought back Dimitri and they just got him on like between season 2 and 3 they got him on some insane like workout regimen and eating like 5,000 calories a day, and he comes back just yoked up. And
I don't think that actor is physically capable of that.
that really kind of leads us into the hallway fight at the end.
Oh, so cool. Well done.
Yeah, I felt like that fight scene was like 15 minutes long.
Oh, it was. It was like half the episode.
It was awesome.
It felt like they were trying to reenact the raid. Did you ever see that?
Right.
It's like because they were even doing the camera work where they're going from one fight to the next, and you know.
Yeah. And they had everyone in that fight too, even those little miniature.
Dude, that was great. There was a second where I was watching that episode and going, I think someone's going to wake up and this is going to be a dream. There's no way they're going there with this show. Because every one of those people involved in that fight would not only get expelled, they'd all go to jail.
Right.
Like, that was like, I mean, one of the guys even like hits a teacher, I think, like kicks the teacher out.
Yeah. A chick that does the morning announcements and took the mic and made this announcement. Hey, I'm going to kick your ass, bitch.
Yeah, she pulled a Jim Belushi from The Principal. Everyone get out.
Yeah.
They're making her like a real kind of villainous female Cobra Kai chick. Like, we haven't really had one of those before.
Right.
You know?
Well, what's funny is I've read some rumors that, this could be totally not even a thing, but I've heard there's a lot of talk that she could possibly be Terry Silver's daughter. Yeah! How cool would that be? That would be. I think that would be a cool way to bring Terry Silver into the whole show.
Oh, absolutely! Like he's infiltrating Cobra Kai.
Terry Silver used to suck Kreese's dick. Like he would do anything for him. So he wouldn't let Kreese be on the street living in these little halfway house type things he's staying in.
There was a total golden opportunity though when Kreese takes over Cobra Kai and says to Johnny, "I talked to the landlords; they don't like you. This place is mine." Yeah. Terry Silver, comes out of the shadows and goes,
"You can just stand there, let him kick your ass.
You can just stand there, let him kick your ass."
Whoa! Dude, if they bring him back on this show that has such a comedic edge, he has to do whoa! 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 Whoa!
Knowing these writers and the super fans they are, that will happen.
Yeah, if they go through a season of Terry Silver and he doesn't do that, I'll stop watching the show.
That end fight, though,
man.
In that high school, I what really pisses me off, because we brought up the fact that we can't fucking stand Robbie, is that Miguel would have beat his fucking ass, but he chose to restrain. He chose not to go the John Kreese Cobra Kai way.
And isn't that great? It's a flashback of what Johnny told him to do, which is to give mercy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. It's all.
But if he hadn't done that, he would have killed Robbie's ass.
Yeah,
would have killed his ass. And then what does Robbie do? He fucking flings his ass off the top freaking balcony.
They obviously want us to at least think that it's life-threatening for sure. Or paralysis or something,
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting though? It's like the guy being trained by Johnny shows mercy, and the guy being trained by Daniel gets this anger to do this horrible thing at the last minute when he doesn't have to. What's going to be funny, dude, is he's going to be paralyzed, and Daniel's going to get back from Japan, and he's going to walk into Miguel's hospital room. He's going to go. He's going to put his fucking warm hands on his legs.
Assuming that Miguel doesn't die, he pulls through this, and he gets miraculously rehabilitated somehow within like a month. Where do you think he's going to be left? Because he's going to be tempted to go to the John Kreese way. He'd be like, look, I showed mercy and look what happened.
That's if he can even, I mean, they're going to have to write in something where he can heal quickly, like, and it wasn't as bad as they thought, because if they give him an entire season of him being like incapacitated and out of the fight, I can't really picture him coming back in and doing karate again if that injury is bad. If it's not bad and they go, oh, wow, your son really lucked out. He's going to be okay. He just has like a fucking herniated disc, which is probably what they will do. I think that he'll probably go to Daniel's side, even though he shouldn't. But that's the great thing about the show is like they're always doing the wrong things at the wrong time. They're being taught the right stuff, but they're doing it wrong. It's so great the way it constantly flip-flops. And even Daniel and Johnny are always on the opposite sides of the tracks on accident, you know? Let's talk about the Mexican restaurant scene. Like Johnny finally doesn't beat around the bush. He just said, you know, and I love it. He's like, enjoy your Coors. Like Daniel's such a dick. Like he's making fun of Johnny for having a Coors and like Johnny clearly is on a first date, but they say, oh no, let's mix the tables together. I would have been like, don't you fucking dare join us.
Yeah, right? Fuck that, man.
But they, you know, the girls go to the bathroom and what happens? Like the guys talk, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like that bar scene in season 1 where they sit down, they're having those beers, and they're actually enjoying each other's company. They're, you know, they realize, well, fuck, that was a long time ago. Whatever, you know, you don't seem like such a bad guy. Hey, neither do you. And it becomes just kind of like a bonding moment they have. That's
when the first time in 36 years they actually get to sit together and get drunk. And they both realize that Allie was the villain, the one that that made them hate each other. She wasn't your girl anymore. He's like, well, she never told me that. And it's like, right there, you're like, oh, Johnny wasn't a dick when he saw them at the beach. Yeah. He thought that was his girlfriend still.
Right? And here's this little douchebag chode fucking trying to hit on his chick.
It was similar to that scene, but because they've already known each other and they've already gone to war and faced each other in the tournament, it was more tense because you didn't know where it was going to go. And then Johnny defuses the whole thing. He's just like, you don't have to worry about Kreese. He's not who I thought he was. I hoped he could change. Like Johnny has a complete sense of common sense now. Yeah. Like he knows how to talk to people when they're hot-headed. And that night went great. They danced and they got drunk. But you know, as soon as they shake hands, you're like, that's not over. Like, this is not done.
I also want to bring up is the very end where Johnny's on the beach and he's real upset about everything. Of course, he's upset about Miguel, you know, his mom, you know, doesn't want anything to do with him now. And he's on the beach and he throws his phone. He got a friend request from somebody special. Miss Allie Mills Schwarber.
Elizabeth motherfucking Chu. Like Zabka, just the look on his face. He throws the phone and he throws the keys. That is just like, you know, his protege may be paralyzed. He lost his school. Daniel hates him like he's lost everything again.
Yep.
Like Zabka just owns that emotion in that scene. He fucking owns it. He's so good. I think that we're going to open up with maybe Johnny on the road, kind of walking around, figuring stuff out, and it's going to be juxtaposed with Daniel taking a trip back to Japan to try to figure out why he can't do what Miyagi did, why his students keep doing wrong when he trains them. That's what I think. That's how I think it's going to start.
Daniel would go back to Okinawa. I'd love to see him run into Chosen. I'd love to see Chosen super pissed still and just beat the living shit out of him.
I think that's the only little snippet of the trailer for season 3 is Chosen kind of like flipping him over his back or something. Do you see the sai go right next to Daniel's head? Like, I'm like, yeah, dude, that's got to be Chosen for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's him. It can't be Sato. Sato passed away in 95, I think. I just want to see Daniel get his ass beat. I even wanted to see that when I was like a kid. I didn't get to see that enough. He got beat up a little bit here and there, but I really want to see him get beat up now because he's a douchebag. And I want Mike Barnes to come back and because he'll kick the shit out of
Mike Barnes
Daniel.
Was such a horrible no stock character. It was just such a terrible character though. There'd be he had no emotional connection to anything. He was a hired gun. He had like 2 lines of dialogue with Daniel though.
He was an empty character for sure.
You know, it would be great for Mike Barnes because you know that actor was a soap opera star, right?
Yeah.
In the 80s. How great would it be if they do reintroduce him and you see him on like a billboard or something that someone drives past and he has like given up karate and he's just a full-time soap opera actor? That would be awesome. Fucking awesome. Like he just comes in for comedic effect and he doesn't even fight anymore. And I think you're right. I think what's her Tori? Yeah. I think she's Terry Silver's kid or grandkid. I don't know how old that guy was.
It would make sense to me. She even has her hair tied back like him sometimes,
and she acts like him. She is an evil little minx.
Oh yeah, that bitch is out for some trouble. But I love the dump truck scene.
Yeah,
or the cement mixer.
The cement mixer.
I love when he calls those kids. He's like, "You pack of pathetic pussies." I was watching it and I'm taking notes and I'm like, these fucking pathetic little pussies. And then he calls them a pack of pathetic pussies. It's fucking brilliant.
You got to love Cobra Kai, though. They treat everybody the same. Man, woman, black, white, whatever. Everyone's the same.
Except boys and girls. Gender what?
Man, if they can just keep topping themselves or keep just being as good as each season was from the previous season, this might be one of my favorite shows of all fucking time.
I hear
and one of my favorite, because a lot of people are calling this an actual sequel to the movies, which it is. Maybe one of the best sequels ever made because of how it changed things. It made it kind of a dark comedy at some points, but it's also tragic and it's also teen angst and coming of age story. It's all those things. And it works on every level, you know?
Yeah, all the same, the same stuff that's been in movies ever since we started watching when we were kids. It's just a different time, that's all. Probably one of my favorite characters on the show who is not having a good day right now, Mr. Miguel. I'm going to drink a shot for you.
If I had one, brother, I'd do one with you. This is the best I can do. But cheers, man.
Cheers,
to Miguel, buddy. Hopefully Miguel's okay.
Rob Garrison.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers to you, buddy. It was awesome that they got him back. Great performance by him, and then he died shortly afterwards in real life.
Rob Garrison, you're the man. Thank you for being in episode 6. Much love, brother.
Much love, man.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Never died. Hey, man, it's good doing a show with you again. Miss doing these.
Hell yeah, brother.
Really do. When we were watching that Cobra Kai episode 6 with all the buddies getting together, it always makes you think about your friends and your real life friends and stuff,
I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot to mention that, but I actually had that here written down. I was totally what it made me think of. All of us, we've known each other for 20-something years, man.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason it hit home so much.
We never know if one day we're going to have to hang out with one of us sitting in a bed like that. You never know. On a dour note. Love you, man. This is great.
Love you too, brother.
All right, man. Cobra Kai never dies. We'll wait for season 3. This has been Drinking. I'm Ben.
And this is Devin in Colorado, bitch.
And what do we do, man? We drink your
cinema.
It's a cruel, cruel summer.